Good evening, welcome, and thank you for joining me. My name is Inbaal. I'm a psychic, tarot reader, and witch, and we are here on the Bigfoot Outlaw Network. We're broadcasting live right now on Facebook, LinkedIn. Sorry, I had to check. Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, um, definitely Instagram. Whatever issues it had are fixed. And Twitch. Is it Twitch? Is it called Twitch? The purple thing with the lines. So we are live now across the board. And when we are done with the live stream, this also gets uploaded to all the podcasting platforms. So wherever it is that you found us, wherever it is that you're listening or watching, welcome. Hi, how are you surviving this Mercury retrograde? I want to start by acknowledging the very sad passing of the Prince of Darkness. We have a message here from Mark, who's the first person to break the horrible news to me. Rest in peace to the Prince of Darkness. Nothing else to put. Thoughts and healing go out to Sharon and the rest of his family. Sharon Osborne, now widowed, our love goes out to you. I am personally so in awe of her moral clarity, of what an incredible mom she's always come across, and how she was really the original momager and family brand manager, which I think is, as somebody who loves business, is spectacular. As we say, may his memory be a blessing. Mark says, what to put today? Hi, and good evening. I hope you're okay. Hello, everyone else. Welcome. We're all okay. Please remember to like and subscribe. And, please remember to be kind. Life is fleeting and short. Lucianne says, hi, Mark. She says, hope you're well. They're greeting. Lucianne says, I used to play at Ozzy's house when I was little with his daughter from first marriage. My dad was a Midlands rocker and they hung out. Lovely guy. He's always come across so lovely. I did his son Jack's show. That wasn't in the Midlands. It was that like in Hertfordshire or somewhere where because he's got a ghost hunting show, hasn't he, where he goes around the US. So he did like a homecoming show with just 3 episodes of walking around haunted locations here in the UK, and I was on one of them, and it was quite embarrassing because I had no idea that it was a Jack Osborne show. I, in fact, didn't even know that he was, such a huge name in ghost hunting. I am terrible. For me, a job is a job. So I auditioned for it. It was via contact that I knew. So I was just like, yeah, how's, say hi to the person that I knew, auditioned, got it, and all I asked was where to turn up. Can you send me like the sat nav coordinates? I'll turn up. I'll dress nice. And it was actually, Mark, I think we were messaging when I was on my way there, and I had no idea, but I was messaging you because it was very near your birthday, right? Before you vanished. So it was very near the birthday, and I got there and I got like the release forms, what you sign, before anything is filmed. And it said Jack Osborne on it. And I was like, wow, isn't it funny how people have the same name? Like, I don't know any other Inbaal Honigmans, but I'll bet there's like loads of Jack Osbornes. And I messaged my husband and I said, yeah, it's really funny. It says Jack Osborne. Could it be? Like, could it be? And he Googled it and he was like, oh yeah, he's got like ghost hunting shows. I had no idea. And he was fabulous. He was fabulous. He's got like a British accent, absolute no airs and graces whatsoever. So like, gets the job done. Exactly my kind of people. But yeah, Lucianne says, I'm okay. Rob is greeting. Poncho Zach says, and like boom. Love that. Lucianne says, hi, Imbal. Greetings, greetings. Lorna says, yoo-hoo, everyone. Good to see you, Lorna. I feel like I haven't seen you in a couple of weeks. Just flashing up everybody's messages. Sandy says, hello, Imbal, blessings. Hello, all in chat. And I'm going to quickly acknowledge everyone that's on that's on Instagram as well, because we have not been live on Instagram in a while. I think there were some issues. Um, Rob says, what are these crowns about? Something here? Tell me what you're seeing. I did move some stuff. We're tidying. There's four bookcases here, so we cleaned and like bleached this one and that one. So I did move some stuff, and I do have no, but you can't have seen them. I do have some candle holders that look like crowns. I thought that's what you meant. Lorna says, didn't know. Prayers to Sharon and family. Mark says, Buckinghamshire, right? Chapelton, St. Peter. So yeah, it was all around like it wasn't the Midlands, was it? It's like properly south, but it was all around like the middle of the country. Right, flashing everybody's messages. Oh, Mark says, I think 13th February, if I recall. It was very near your birthday. I don't remember. There was flooding because my drive took like twice as long as it should have done. Poncho Zach says, I hear this is a good place for those with issues. Poncho Zach, I can tell you that this is a welcoming place for those with issues. There's one thing that we do not do here, and that is judge. You come here with your issues and with everything. That is the cool. Robert says, in the chat, I worked it out. The more we talk, the more XP we get. And it rates us like top fans. Oh, so you have crowns in the... Oh, that's really nice. They have crowns in the chat. So on Instagram, we've got Trevor. Hi, Trevor. So nice to see you on Instagram. I know that you're kind of uncertain about it. Dwayne Rain Gobani. Wow. Hi. Yenny is here. The Mystical Arts. Cotton Down. I can see Laura. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Now, your messages from Instagram don't show up on my big screen, so I can't flash them up. So I can see Trevor's message saying RIP to the legendary rock icon that is Ozzy Osbourne, an incredible and incomparable musical genius who inspired many music lovers around the world for generations. God bless. Thank you for your prayers. That is amazing. Thank you, Trevor. So I can see it when I switch between browsers, but it's not. At least we can, you know what, we can broadcast on Instagram now. There's been errors for a while. A little surprising, actually, that during the Mercury retrograde, the Instagram connection is improving rather than decreasing. So, since in the last few weeks, I have had the best guests, like the best, incredible guests. So last week, if you missed, rush and watch it again. I had the incredible pleasure of having Mog Morgan here. Mog Morgan has been an occultist since the early 80s. He is the publisher of Mandrake of Oxford, author of many books, speaker in many conferences, and he knows everybody. So I had him for a beautiful chat last week. Didn't really go on air. And then the week before that, we had Lucienne here, who is such a gifted witch artist, and she makes candles and altar knickknacks. I say knickknacks like important magical artifacts, but they're so cute as well. And Lucienne has been so incredible and so popular. So I thought this week, all I'm going to do is keep it calm, keep it quiet. I have got a bit of a cold. Now, next week will be 1 year to the show. Can you believe it? To Psychic Development with Inbaal and Friends. 1 year. I'm Pisces. I do not stick things out for like a whole year. And I'm so excited that we've built like a gorgeous community here, and that people support each other, and that everybody's kind of growing together, learning together, and, you know, gathering together to share space. So I cannot compete with the last few guests that we have. Next week is going to be the 1 year show, because I think is next week 30th, and I think I started on the 29th of July last year, something like that. Something like that. Let me look in my diary. I've got a paper diary. Then look on the inside. It's got all the phone numbers and everything. If anyone wants to dissolve me completely, hide my paper diary. You will dissolve me, but I will also dissolve you. Oh, 30th of July last year. Yeah, very good. Yeah, and then next week it'll be the 29th. So it'll be a year. Um, and oh, it's beautiful. Poncha Zach says, wasn't judging. We all have issues. We do. Tonight's issue is Ozzy Osbourne's family have nothing but my sympathies and hope they find peace and love. They're a gorgeous family, aren't they? And they have each other. And Lucianne said, what a lovely space it is. Mark says, just to let you know, you keep freezing once in a blue moon, good old Mercury retrograde. Do you know what happened to me with the Mercury retrograde? You're not going to believe it. So my laptop, the one I'm on right now, the letter O was starting to play up a little bit. So I popped the key off, cleaned underneath it, popped the key back on. I used to do computers, like when I was in the army, that was my job, computers. Pop the key back on, and it was fine for a couple of weeks. And then it started like either not doing the letter O when I pressed on it or doing it twice. Either either two or none. There was no single letter O. So, the words door, floor, and moot were fine. All the other words like studio and radio, not fine. So I popped the top off, realized that the little hinge underneath the letter was broken. Went on to shall we say, a marketplace, went to eBay, to look for a new hinge. And I thought, I just need a hinge. I don't need the letter above because I've still got like the little key that says O. As I'm thinking that, the letter O escaped from my hands. And it's like thin, right? It's like a laptop key. Escaped from my hand, ran down the side of the sofa, down the side of the cushion, into the leg, and that is where it is now. I went to look for it. I stuck my fingers and everything. There was no finding it. So I spent the whole weekend trying to find workarounds to not using the word "oh," and all of my work is in typing. Everything I do is typing. I do email readings. I write a lot of articles and quotes for the press. All I do is write. So that was such a Mercury retrograde. It was such a moment. So now I have the letter O. Let me show you. O, 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 O. I'm going to show you. I'm so proud that I now have the letter O. I'm going to flash up my own message in a minute. Oh, Sabrina is here. Hello, 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 hello. Rob says, how did I, your official biographer, not know you're a tech expert? Maybe because you do things like you use cups as tripods. Yeah, at the moment, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books and a small box of Sabbath candle holders as tripod with a laptop on top of it. But no, I was a tech expert. What it is when you go in the army, you go into like mandatory service, you don't get to pick what job you're going to do. You get assessed and you get placed where you're needed. So to everyone's amazement, my skill with computers was realized then, and I was sent to the computer corps, did the big course, and and here we were. So yeah, if you have more questions as you're writing my biography, please go ahead and ask. So what I was going to do is just do little readings for everyone. Right now, in July, I have been going live on Instagram every day, just for 5 minutes. I'm doing little tarot lessons and I'm doing it all in promotion of my big tarot course. Now, the majority of you already read tarot, so you don't need my big tarot course. Although you should know that if you sell my big tarot course for me, I'm going to give you some kickback. There's something in it for you, and that something is cash. So if you've got any friends that want to buy the tarot course, let them know that for the whole of July, so that's another 9 days, it's at 40% off. My big tarot course is £555. It's 115 lessons going through all the different cards, obviously, all the different spreads that I use. I share my own personal way of working with the tarot, and then like the ethics that go around it, how to approach difficult news, difficult clients, easy news, easy clients, and so on. So, to that end, I thought what would be really, really cute for us to do together is to go back to basics. If you've got questions, send in your questions, free mini readings. And then as I do the reading, I will show you the cards and show everybody the cards that come up and the way that I interpret them. And that way we all learn and we all also enjoy some readings. So for that, I have my thought deck. Love, 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 love. I have my, everything is falling. I have my Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And just because we haven't used it in a while, I have my crystal ball. Look at that. I saw it on the shelf and I thought it wants to come out and play. I also have the teeny tiny crystal ball, but yeah, I'm feeling this one today. So if you've got some questions, they can be big, they can be small. They can't be like many because we want to fit everybody in. But if you've got some questions, go ahead and send them. It can be questions for yourself. It can be questions about stuff that's in the news. Not too political, please. Mark says about my big tarot course, done it even as a psychic reader myself, and it was very enjoyable. Thank you. That's the thing. I really think almost everybody watching already reads the tarot. You don't necessarily need it, but I'll tell you myself as a sort of personal thing, I love doing beginners courses. I did last year. I did like a Zoom course. It was really fascinating, and it was like Kabbalah for beginners. And I've been working like in the Kabbalah sphere, literally for 2 decades. But it was a beginners course, and it actually sort of shut some gaps. The year before that, I took like a literally Wicca for beginners course. It was amazing. So I love going back to basics. I love looking at things. With fresh eyes, if you know what I mean. Mark says, I'm here just to observe tonight, so not going to ask. Absolutely fine. Lucianne is kicking us off with a question that says, advice on my relationship. Am I correct in how I feel about it? What's the actual issue? Let's see. It's a good question. So for the am I correct, I'm literally going to do a yes, no, and I'll show you how I do the yes, no. And then for the what's the actual issue, we'll do a one-carder because we're asking about a single issue. We want to see, we want to cut to the chase. So am I correct in how I feel about it? Babe, I hate to say it, but like, no. Instead of you speaking, it is your intrusive thoughts speaking. Instead of listening to your intuition, you're listening you're listening to your PTSD. And your PTSD, even though it is a good protector, it's not a good guide. You know what I mean? It's not, your PTSD is not on your side. Your PTSD is on its own side. It's independent from you. So the way I do it, I take a yes, no. Am I correct? This comes for the yes, this comes for the no. And I basically look for the one that is better or worse. And between the two of them, they're both swords cards, but this one is much more kind of pain and devastation. Nobody gets out alive. The little heart here is all like full of, swords going into it. Whereas the no card shows you rising above. So I would say not correct in how you feel about it, because the no card is the one that's more That's basically the better card, but also kind of more relevant because it shows you rising above. And I think it's really interesting, especially for somebody as naturally intuitive as yourself, somebody as well trained in intuition as yourself, to still not be the best judge of what's going on within you. Do you know what I mean? And I find that when I struggle with decisions, I'd rather go and check with somebody else rather than depend on how I feel. And what's the actual issue? So we'll take one card with that. And here it shows somebody moving on, moving forward. And this is somebody who's just allergic to staying in one place. That is the issue. Is it you? Is it the other person? Somebody here struggles with routine. Somebody here compulsively likes the feeling of moving on, moving forward, starting new things. So yeah, let me know. Oh, you have let me know. Let's see. Oh no, that's Lorna. Sorry. So yeah, this is Lucienne. Yes, let me know. Rob says, oh, how exciting. Thank you. Do you have any insights into my friendship with Pisces? Let's look at it like this. I'm going to take a card for you, a card for Pisces, and what's in between. Oh. So the card for you shows that what you get out of the friendship is a lot of excitement, enthusiasm, like a bright spark, inspiration. It gives you the kick that you need. And what the Pisces gets out of the friendship is like a feeling of like a sense of safety, like a sense of security. So you kind of gift each other very opposite, very different gifts, but it's good for the both of you. What's in between the two of you is disappointment. This is like a trauma bond, or like you share similar difficulties from the past, from the present. You share those difficulties in a way that is familiar, in that how you kind of mirror each other. So yeah, let me know, let me know. Lucienne says, that's really surprising. I know, really surprising for me as well. Look at it in the context of the retrograde as well. Is there a lesson from the past that's being played out in the present, rather than it being like a completely individual, completely separate new entity that is growing? Is this something that you've needed to go through a second time in order to make different choices this time? Let's see what we've got here. We've got here. Sabrina says, I love your course, especially the side jokes. I don't even remember any of them. My kids say, oh, nobody laughs at jokes the way that you laugh at your own jokes. And it's tragically true. So as I was filming the course, it took me like 2 years to film the whole course, and the lessons are long. And just as a person, I'm not somebody that could just sort of sit in a classroom and sort of take everything in seriously. So I like to sort of keep things entertaining for anybody that joins the course, and and has the same issue as me of not really wanting to just sort of sit there and listen, but wants to sort of keep it fun and interactive. We've got a question from Lorna, who says, I'm feeling overwhelmed with toxic workplace and also caring for elderly frail parent. Any changes coming? First of all, I'm sending you a lot of love and a lot of healing. And, if we can all kind of join together to send a lot of energy to Lorna, that sounds like she could really use a little boost. So I'm sending you glitter, I'm sending you love, I'm sending you happiness, I'm sending you the knowledge and the self-sufficient awareness that things will turn out exactly the way they need to turn out. So any changes coming? Is it a yes or is it a no? No material changes is what I'm seeing. So for the yes, I've got a lovely card. Yeah. So what does change is that you will feel stronger. But between the yes card and the no card is actually the higher card, the stronger card being a major arcana, as you see. So it says what does change is that you are able to process things better. You're able to feel stronger. But what doesn't change is the like the grid, like how things work. What doesn't change is how is who you have to deal with, who you have to care for, which people are accountable to you, and which people you're accountable to. It's showing. Are there crows near your house? I'm seeing crows, and I feel like in those crows there are messages. So notice them. Notice when they're looking. Notice when they're flying overhead, because I feel like they might be messages from. Would it be the Morrigan if it's crows? There's some messages there for you. Um, Rob and Mark are having a laugh with each other. And Lucianne says, over and over and over. Right? If this is a pattern, maybe, maybe now it's time for that pattern to finish. Do you want to maybe phrase a question that says, what do I need to know? What do I need to do for that pattern to, to give it a rest? Rob says, also, guys, I forgot to announce this before, but Sainsbury's have cherries for £1 a punnet and they're really flavor. So am I allowed to promote Sainsbury's here? Well, remove if I can, but yum, yum. I guess, why not? A bargainous fruit, we've got the vitamins and, the saving. Rob says it's for UK friends, obviously. And Mark says, disclaimer, other stores are available. I think Morrison's have got offers on cherries at the moment as well, actually. Sabrina is sending lots of love and good vibes to Lorna. And Lorna confirms crows have a meaning to me. Yes, that's very moving to know. Oh, Nilda's here saying, everyone, blessings to all. Blessings, Nilda. We're doing mini readings for everyone today. We're doing, I'm a little low energy. It's a worry that this is what I'm like when my energy is low. I'm a little low energy. I've got a little cold. So I'm just doing little readings for everyone, showing you how I use the cards so that you can learn as as you view. So Sabrina says, any messages the universe wants to send me? Let's have a look what messages are coming through for you. Yes. So we've got a breakthrough. So this is you in the death card. That is what we can refer to as a bad start. We've got you as the death card, and it says that you're changing a lot on the inside, and all the hard work that you've put into the self work and into everything you're learning, it's all kind of transmuting you. What's the word I'm looking for? Transmutation, metamorphosis, right? It's all metamorphosing you so that you're a very different person. You will tolerate very different things. Your boundaries run very differently. So you've really changed over the last 13 months, it says. And because you've still kept who you are and your loving self and your heart-centered decision making, you will find that you can immediately sort out the right from the wrong. the things that suit you from things that don't suit you, truth from lie, because you can notice when things are wrong, but you're also doing it with a lot of love. You're not suspecting everybody and everything straight away. So yeah, it says that the sun is bursting out of the clouds. There is a breakthrough coming, and that breakthrough is thanks to you and literally nobody else. You should be very proud of yourself. We've got greetings, greetings. We've got an announcement from from Rob throwing out random information for no apparent reason. A reason is not necessary. Let me just scroll around in. There we go. I'm just scrolling in my Instagram to see if any questions have come in, and the healing well-being says, "Are there any messages for me?" Thank you for sending in. Even though the Instagram messages don't come to my big screen, I can see it on my little screen. So, any messages for healing well-being? Right. It shows it's not easy. It shows that your focus is in multiple places at once. Multiple places at once. So you're focusing on yourself, your fitness, everything you're learning. You're focusing on the family and on creating a balanced and calm household. You're trying to focus on more and other things, but that's really when your body, and also even more so your soul, says to you, "I'm sorry, lady, what are you trying to do to me? Because you are non-stop and you don't really give yourself a rest and you don't really give yourself a break." Now, because a lot of the stuff that you pursue has to do with giving yourself space and is, at least in theory, self-improvement, then you think, why am I so tired? I'm giving myself a lot of breaks. But because those are things that you're like learning, because they're things that you're learning, then you're not fully adept at them yet. So it takes effort and it's exhausting. And it's really sort of not surprising that you don't have the energy needed to go for like a third direction, because the two directions that you're already sort of very busy with, they're using up a whole 24 hours worth of your day. So this is saying to you, if you want to find new ways to rest, you're just you're just exhausting yourself. You need to go with the old ways to rest, with the regular ways to rest. A nap. I don't know, a movie. An evening without the children of chit chat. It says that you are so invested in kind of promoting your own wellness and being, such a light onto the world, that you end up kind of neglecting and abandoning what you need to just sort of feel more, more calm, more relaxed. So yeah, I hope that helps. And there's another Instagram message that I can see from Naila, saying, "Naila here, we met at Shoreditch House last time. I remember you. I remember you very vividly because you're so gorgeous." Any messages for me? Let's see what we've got here. Am I saying correct? Is it Naila? Is it Naila? Messages. I'll go with Nyla because that feels more correct to me. So the messages for Nyla are that you want to let go from things. Sorry, my brain. Let go from things that are dragging you down. Why? Because there are some kind of dull, boring paperwork situations that need to be established, that need to be more like ring fenced. And so this could be, I don't know, registering a business name, or sort of putting together sales funnel or whatever it is. They're boring things, but they're like really, really needed. And once you've done them, then within the boundaries that you created, you can enjoy creatively, sort of getting busy and getting excited and getting enthusiastic. So yeah, I hope that helps, and wonderful to see you. um Nyla says the second way is correct. Yay! Thank you. I'm very pleased I got it right, at least on the second. Wonderful. I'm going back to my regular screen to see everybody else here. And we've got Sabrina confirming, saying, wow, just had a conversation with my sis about boundaries, particularly mine last Friday. Boundaries are so crucial. Boundaries are so crucial because everybody's only got a certain amount of energy. Even though energy is limitless, yada, 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 I know, but the energy that is accessible to each of us at any given time is, at least a little bit limited. It's limited to how much we can obtain. It's limited to how much we can process. It's limited to how much we can share. And if we don't put boundaries, then we end up using that limited energy on maybe people that don't deserve it. Lorna is just stating the fact that I would like on my headstone. She says, sanity is overrated, Robert. I might put it on the headstone without Robert's name, but yeah, way overrated. Rob says, Sabrina Inbaal is amazing for teaching people boundaries. A bespoke mentoring session on setting and keeping boundaries might be in order. Well ahead of you. Yay, amazing. But yeah, I love boundaries. And it's funny because I think of myself as somebody with very, very strict boundaries. But if work comes in, even at like insane times, and I know that I'll have to, give up some sleep to do it, I'll still do it. I'll still do it. Nilda says, what are you seeing maybe going on with my elder friend and our friendship? I feel guilty about the situation she's in. Gracias. Mwah. Maybe going on with the elder friend and with the friendship. And let me take a card for your guilt as well. Oh, two cards came up. So, you know what? Your friend is doing okay. It's like she needs drama in her life. She enjoys drama. So when things happen that would make a good story, even if they're like difficult to live through, she gets some kind of satisfaction out of it. Whereas the friendship seems to be kind of spinning its wheels because you do not love drama. You love kindness and a simple, straightforward life and communication. And the guilt that you're feeling is because you struggle to realize that everybody's different. Some people are very calm like you. Some people are very extra like she is. And I feel like it's really sort of a joy to her to have somebody like you who is youthful and exciting and lives life to the full. And it's really nice for you to have someone like her who shows you that the older years can still be really, really fascinating. But the friendship is not dependent on the two of you being similar, and she doesn't need for you to bail her out of situations. Do you know what I mean? She chose her drama. So I hate to say it. Don't tell her I said. I hate to say it, but it's important that you know. So Luciane says, would stopping the over and over be beneficial? What's the best way to stop it? Very good question. So would stopping the repeating pattern of your relationships benefit you or not benefit you? Look, it'll be hard. Look at that. Hard work, strife, right? It'll be hard. It'll be a burden, but it'll definitely benefit you because you have not got enough sadness in your heart to generate it again and again and again. So it'll definitely be really, really beneficial for you, and it'll help you feel more grounded, and less kind of ruled by emotions. So, but what's the best way to stop it? The best way to stop it is bam, boundaries. Boundaries. If I had even an ounce of musical talent, like my theme song would be boundaries. Boundaries, I love them. Boundaries, I recommend them. So if you say, you know, this day is good for me, that day is not good for me, then another person insists, maybe, why can't you make it? La, la, la. No. If, for example, you say, I believe this or I feel that, and the person tries to argue with you that you are wrong, no. Anyone that can't accept your boundaries is just unable to accept you, because your boundaries are part of who you are. So yeah, let me know. But yeah, I really hope that helps sort of get into the, you know, into the ignition of what is going on. Nilda is saying, I'm going hard on my self-love and positivity spiritual journey. I love hearing that. Yes, go with that. Carrie Ann says, hi, any messages from spirit about my situation with N? Let's look at the crystal ball for you, shall we? So, because you specifically asked for messages from spirit about your situation with N, let's see what we've got here. It shows me that N is trying to do everything correctly and trying to be supportive, but N needs help from you supporting him as he supports you. What I mean by that is that he overestimates his own strength. And so if you can infuse him with more strength, more of a sense of self, while he supports you in more specific capacities, then that will be a great give and take that will help propel the two of you forwards. Let me know if that makes sense. Sabrina says, Robert, 100%. She has taught me a lot. Mwah, thank you. And Nilda says, yes, I'm finding that out. Thanks, right? Everybody's different. Lindsay's here saying, looking beautiful, Inbaal. Hope you're well. I've got a little cold. We've got a little cold going around the house. We've got a little cold. We think my second born was on school holiday abroad. It's such a dream, when I went on school holiday, we would get taken to the desert where we had to build our own tents. So I think he may have brought us some French germs. But no, it's fine. I could very well wake up tomorrow and not have it anymore. Let me check if Instagram said anything. Um, Nyla says, yes, anything admin is so boring. Thank you for that push. I see. I have to get to it then. Absolutely. And she says, thank you. You're very, very welcome. Oh, and Lindsay, I see that you saw us on the Instagram and then popped over onto YouTube. Very good. Let's see. Let's see where I was. Oh, look at that. So Carrie Ann says, thank you, but I don't know if it resonates as we are separated 2 months, no contact. Actually, I think that is exactly what we're looking at, because he needs the support from you in order to support you. So if you reach out, if you feel like reaching out, not telling you what to do, but just what the reading meant is that if you reach out sweetly, small little reaching out, and then let him sort of do the rest of the work. That's all you need to do. He needs a clue. He needs a hint. But But yeah, so that's probably what it was. And thank you for the incredible feedback because that helps me be better. Um, we've got lovely healing from Lindsay. And Rob is still in Sainsbury's saying, I went to get plums. Have I missed crystal ball readings yet? Sad put crystal ball not used yet. Someone have the ball. Yeah, we did a little one. Thank you. Mark said, I haven't called in nearly a year. Amazing, I know. Yeah. Lucianne says, I have been putting up boundaries and it's been feeling very good. Proud of you, proud, proud, proud. There is definite kickback from the other. Do you know what that tells you? It tells you that next time, start putting the boundaries even earlier to see if it's somebody who because it's not that your boundaries are wrong or the way that you do it is wrong. All this does is help you identify the people who take boundaries as a personal insult. Some people sort of just find the whole concept of boundaries to be like very unromantic. You know, we're together, so why don't we sort of think exactly the same as each other, which actually means, but we're together, so why don't you do everything I tell you to do? And it's, you know, obviously wrong. You can hear that it's wrong when I say it, but it's also a real difficult situation because when you're in a relationship, you don't really sort of chat about that relationship to lots of people. So you just sort of stay with yourself and then you think, am I wrong about this? But yeah, people that see all boundaries as kind of a personal insult are like the biggest walking red flag. Neil, this says nice earrings look beautiful on you. Oh, thank you, from Halifax. Actually, yeah, near Mark. It's from the Peace Hall. There's a little gothy shop there. Oh, she says can't reach out. He has me blocked. I tried before and he was mean. Oh, horrific, horrific. You deserve goodness and happiness. Mark says, Lucianne, we should always put up boundaries if it feels that we should. I know I'm teaching my grand to suck eggs, but follow your gut instinct, 100%. Nilda says, do you have to have a question in order to read a crystal ball? Not necessarily. Do you want to ask for like a little general message for a crystal ball? You know, we can get it working. Lucianne says, other is do as I say, not as I do. Exactly. Exactly. And I think people who put boundaries won't begrudge your boundaries. It's got to be a give and take. It's got to be a give and take. And boundaries are also, like, in my view, that's my personal view, but I think boundaries are not mean. I think boundaries just say, you know, this suits me, this doesn't suit me. For example, if I don't know, if you needed for me to do something that I really, really hate, I don't know, like I find that is with a proviso that I'm a mom. So my kids have had me do things I really, really hate, and I absolutely did not put boundaries. I do not like roller coasters and rides and stuff like that. I'm really scared. And I've gone to theme parks with my kids, for my kids, and sat next to them and pretended to be really, really okay about it. But let's say, for example, if I was still dating or had like a friendship and we were going to a theme park and I said, oh, I don't want to go on any of the rides. You know, I'm here for a good time with everybody. And they tried to say, oh no, but you have to go with us. But you should. That is not mean for me to say. I'm not doing it because I'm scared that if I did, I might, you know, not come back alive. I don't think boundaries are mean. So, you know, by the same token, if I say, oh yeah, so if I can't make it to something because it's too far away and I feel like the drive won't justify it, I say, you know, this is a boundary. So I'm not doing it because if I did do it, if I did come when I don't feel ready, then then I won't be happy. I don't think that's mean. I think that's just me sort of saying this suits me, this, you know, this doesn't suit, and so on. So yeah, but that's just Personal. That's personal, as I say. Lorna says 100% on boundaries in Bal. You certainly do find who wants to be in your world for you. Yes. Wow. Lorna, honestly, everything you say is always sort of so iconic. So iconic. It's stuff that should go on t-shirts. Nilda says, yes, sure, my first time. So we're going to do the crystal ball, and that'll be the final reading that we're doing tonight. So, Nilda, general message from the crystal ball. It shows all the love in your heart, and it shows that now your heart is bursting with too much love. It's time to bring somebody into your life that you can paint with all that love, that you can shower with all that love. So here it shows your big heart, and you don't feel like you are you when you hold that love on the inside. You feel like you want to share it, you want to give it on the outside. So that's just a little message that we've got here. I'll look at the rest of our messages, and then we're going to start winding down, and I'm going to have a hot drink and go to bed. Mark says that nodding head regarding boundaries. Lucy Ann says, Lorna, spot on. Yeah, let me flash up Lorna's message again. 100%. You find who wants to be in your world for you. Rob says, Nelda, I recommend a sausage dog. I really want a sausage doggo to love, and I'm going to make it sausage. Oh, I'm going to call it sausage. He corrected himself. No, this is amazing. Thank you. Mark says, well, guys, the usual 5-minute alert. So always thanks to Inbaal for this evening. Love to you all. And also thanks to everyone who keeps safe. And see you next Tuesday night. Yeah, I should be here. Lorna says, and this is everything iconic, always iconic, says, took a long time getting that through my own head, right? Life is long and full of lessons. And as we go through life, we learn what suits us, what doesn't suit us, what suits everybody, what is a good idea, what is a bad idea, and so on. And all of those lessons are true. Nobody is born knowing all the boundaries and everything about themselves. It's always an exploration. Lorna said, thank you. Sabrina sending lots of healing vibes. Thank you. Rob says, thank you for my reading. Bye, everyone. And Lorna says, thank you, everyone in chat. So thank you, everyone, from me. I'm going to be here next Tuesday. At the moment, I haven't got the Thursday lunchtime show with Laura because my kids on school holidays, so that's what I do. You want to find me Thursday lunchtime, you've got to look in, if you hear screaming, it's probably me with my family. So I'll see you next Tuesday. Don't hesitate to get in touch. As soon as I finish here, I'm going quickly live on Instagram to promote my big tarot course. So I might see some of you there. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. See ya.